Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin for the win, and we're back for another edition of Diablo 3. Today on the channel, we are taking a look at the Seeker of the Light set for the Crusader. This is the starter set for Season 24 of Diablo 3 for the Crusader. So here it is. Seeker of the Light, 2-piece bonus. Every use of Blessed Hammer that hits an enemy reduces the cooldown of Falling Sword and Provoke by 1 second. 4-piece bonus, you take 50% less damage for 8 seconds after landing with Falling Sword. 6-piece bonus, increase the damage of Blessed Hammer by 15,000% and Falling Sword by 1,000%. This is an okay armor. It's kind of decent, kind of so-so. Alright, to help with this set, we're going to use the Captain Crimson pieces, because Captain Crimson just about goes with everything. For those of you who need a refresher, 2-piece bonus, 6,000 life per second, reduces cooldown of all skills by 20%, reduces resource cost by 20%. 3-piece damage dealt is increased based on percentage of cooldown, and damage taken is reduced based on the percentage of cost reduction that you have. To also help with this set, we're going to be using the Restraint and Focus Rings. The Restraint and Focus Rings, I'm going to bring up the skill here in a minute for you. When you hit with a resource-generating attack or primary skill, deal 50% increased damage for 5 seconds. When you hit with a resource-spending attack, deal 50% damage. We're going to use both of those. We're going to use Guard of Johanna. Blessed Hammer is increased by 226% for free enemies. Gabriel's Vamp Races we're also going to be using to power up Blessed Hammer as well. To power up Falling Sword, we're going to be using very good sword weapon that I'll show you in a little bit. Crown of the Light, as you saw there. Okay, so we're using Blessed Hammer Limitless, Falling Sword Rapid Descent. We are also going to be using Provoke Cleanse. Next, we're going to be using Akarat's Champion Prophet. We're going to be using Shield Glare, Zealous Glare. This will give us a little bit more help against crowd control. Steed Charge, Spiked Barrel. So, quite a lot of things that you're going to be having here. We're going to be using passives Heavenly Strength, Blunt, Indestructible, and Finery. For the Knights Cube, Johanna's Augment, Sacred Harness, and Ring of Royal Grandeur. Because it goes with just about everything. There's not a reason not to run the Ring of Royal Grandeur. Here's what my Paragon looks like. For the follower, use a Broken Crown, Flavor of Time, Nemesis Bracers. Those 3 things are the most important things. Everything else is just kind of throwaway. But Gladiator's Gauntlet I have on here. Homing Pads, Gold Skin. Pretty decent, as you can see here. Alright, so for the purposes of this showcase, we are going to do a greater of 60, 65, 70, and 75. So it's going to be quite a few greater rifts that we're going to be doing. That way I can show you how this armor will perform from Torment 13 going all the way through Torment 16. This is the starter set for Season 24 of Diablo 3 for the Crusader. So keep that in mind that if you're beginning your seasonal journey, this will be the starter set that you'll be able to get this particular season. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do when you get into the Rift is, obviously, you're going to want to start channeling your Blessed Hammers. Your Blessed Hammers already do a lot of damage. Anytime that you're down on resources, you can use your Provoke to get back some of the resources that you've lost that way. Generally, what you will want to do, where I'm waiting for actually a decent mob before I do it, is you would also want to use your Falling Sword. Every time that you drop your Falling Sword based on the sword that we're using, you increase the amount of damage that your Blessed Hammers do, which is very, very, very fortunate for us. And keep that in mind. Okay, again, Blessed Hammers. Every once in a while, we will use Provoke to get back some of our resources that we've lost. When you see a large area of mobs, drop a Falling Sword down. I like to use my Falling Swords when there's a lot of mobs on the screen, or when I'm running against elite packs, as that's probably when you want to do the most amount of damage possible with your particular guys, so keep that in mind. Alright, so right now, again, it's going to be the same type of thing that we did before. Blessed Hammers, they mostly will take out everything on the lower greater rift. Every once in a while, we're going to be using a Provoke to get back some of our resources, and we will also be Alright, perfect example. I'm going to drop my Falling Sword here. The Blessed Hammers are powered up based on the weapon that I am using. If you want a guide to this on paper, I'll link you in the description to it. Okay, Blessed Hammers yet again. So here we go, Blessed Hammers, everything pops. Okay, keep in mind that I still got the stacks from the weapon that I'm using, so that's why. Alright, let's keep this going, guys. Alright, let's activate our Blessed Hammers again to get through things. We'll use Blessed Hammers, drop our Falling Sword. This will increase the damage of Blessed Hammers up to about 10 seconds. We can stack this up to 10 times if I remember correctly. Alright. Here we go, Blessed Hammers. On the low grade risk, Blessed Hammers will pretty much speed through just about everything. I'm going to drop my Falling Sword. I didn't connect with any targets, but it doesn't matter. So we're charging up our Blessed Hammer. When we're higher up in the grade risk, you could want to do a Shield Glare before you use your Blessed Hammers. That way you can get increased amount of damage. In terms of optimization for this armor, what would you want to do? On your helm, my recommendation would be crit hit chance 6.0%. On your gloves, I would recommend crit hit damage 50%, attack speed at least 6.0%, but preferably the higher the better, as well as crit hit chance 6.0%. In terms of further optimization, obviously since this armor is using Captain Crimson, which does more damage based on the mana cooldown reduction, I would recommend having cooldown reduction wherever possible, so I would get 8.0% cooldown reduction wherever you can fit it into. The more cooldown reduction, you will have more attack damage output, which is a bit more important than necessarily having the resource cost reduction for the damage reduction, although that does kind of help a little bit if you go super high up into the areas. But first, I would focus on cooldown reduction. Then, if you still have room left over and you have resource cost reduction, then go there. Then, subsequently, after that, I would recommend to make this armor slightly better. You would want to increase the amount of damage that your Blessed Hammers do, wherever you can fit 15% of that in without sacrificing cooldown reduction, crit hit chance, or cost reduction. Then subsequently, I would also recommend that anywhere where you can power up Falling Sword so it can do more damage, because Falling Sword really doesn't do too much damage no matter what you use for this particular build. There's just not a lot of ways to power it up. I would recommend putting Falling Sword damage up by 15% wherever you can fit it in, where, again, you're not sacrificing cooldown reduction, cost reduction, or crit hit chance, and so on and so forth. Alright, so when you get to the Riff Guardian, it's pretty simple what you're going to want to do. I'm looking for it, actually. Where is the Riff Guardian here? See, okay, he teleports it. Okay, so really you go Shield Glare, and then you go Blessed Hammer. If you've already used the Falling Sword, you pretty much will one-shot a Riff Guardian on these lower levels of 60, 65. When you get to 70, 75, it changes things tremendously. Wow, she spawned all the way up there. I haven't seen that happen quite a while. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to level up some gems. If you're wondering what gems I'm using, Goaka Swiftness, Bane of the Powerful, and Bane of the Trap. You use Goaka Swiftness here because you want to have an increased amount of cooldown reduction on your Falling Swords, as well as the fact that it will help in terms of the Captain Crimson set as well. So that's why we do that, for those of you who are wondering. Now, this is the weapon I was talking about, Faithful Memory. You want to run a Faithful Memory for your weapon on the Crusader, because if you don't run Faithful Memory on a Crusader, you generally won't be able to get a lot of damage output that way. Okay, so that was Greater Rift 60, Tournament 13 difficulty, 4 minutes and 3 second clear time. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so this is Greater Rift 65, same strategy as before, although we will change it up a little bit as we go higher up into the Greater Rift. First thing you want to do when we actually see a target is we will activate our Blessed Hammers. We use our Steed Charge here mostly to get mobility and to, you know, basically gain a bit, or increase, or reduce the amount of distance, I should say, between you and the mobs. But pretty much the low-level enemies, you just want to go Blessed Hammer. Every chance that you can use your Falling Sword, definitely do so, as the Falling Sword, thanks to Faithful Memory, automatically powers up the Blessed Hammers, which is why, really, we're using the Falling Sword. Falling Sword again, Blessed Hammers. Those Blessed Hammers, as you see, doing an increased amount of damage, and we can stack that thanks to Faithful Memory up quite high. So, okay, Falling Sword again, Blessed Hammers. Those should implode things with ease. Okay, every time that we feel like we're going to run low on resources, what we do is we will use our Provoke, because our Provoke will get back some of our resources. Falling Sword, Blessed Hammers had already taken things out, though. Alright, we need that little orb over there, so let me go grab it here a second. Alright, same strategy as before. Here we go again. Alright, Blessed Hammers. They're not going to do as much damage because I ran into the pylon that has the lightning, so this is kind of ironic. Also, keep in mind, when you're in these Greater Rifts, you want to, whenever your Akarat's Champion activated, because you will be able to do an increased amount of damage, and you also become a little bit more tanky, so definitely make sure you're always clicking in your Akarat's Champion when it is available to you. Okay, Akrat's Champion. As you see here, Blessed Hammers. Blessed Hammers take out these tiny little targets. This is a really good armor on the lower levels to speed farm with in terms of the Crusader. It's not as powerful as, let's say, Bombardment Crusader or Valor Crusader. Valor Crusader actually saw some significant nerfs that have hurt the armor a wee bit. We'll actually be talking about Valor Crusader in the not-too-distant future, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Alright, just kicking an eye on the map right now to see exactly where we are. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to turn this way. Again, Blessed Hammers. Every once in a while, when we can do a Falling Sword, we will, because they increase the amount of damage of the Blessed Hammer. We want the Blessed Hammers to rotate. Also, using Shield Glare can help, because you can stun a couple enemies, get increased damage that way. Always remember, whenever you can drop a Falling Sword and there are a lot of targets on screen, definitely do so, as that's kind of the most optimal way to drop a Falling Sword and then go into a Blessed Hammer. It's very easy for a lot of people. Sometimes they will get generally mistaken, and they'll go Blessed Hammer. They'll drop a Falling Sword when they don't need to. Case in point there, that's like a bad use of a Falling Sword, because we didn't really need to do it there. Alright, let's turn the corner. Now, in terms of where this particular armor stands in terms of tier listing, Blessed Hammer, it's very good for speedrunning on very low levels. It is nowhere near S tier like the Bombardment Akan build. It's nowhere near S tier like the Valor Crusader armor was before the nerfs. It is probably somewhere in the mid to low tier. This armor has a problem being able to do a lot of damage and being able to clear things super quickly when it gets higher up in the Greater Rifts. It does well up until about Greater Rift 70. Once you start seeing 85s with this and Greater Rift 90s, it starts to kind of lose out in power, and then you would have to invest more in optimization here. Now, in terms of optimization, what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about augmenting legendary gems into pieces of ancient legendary armor pieces and weapon. Legendary gems of 80 or anywhere up to 100 in value to be able to see significant increases in damage output. Even then, like, the amount of resources that you're going to spend to get this to do higher and well all the way through the seasonal journey is, in my opinion, just really not worth the time and resources that you're putting in when you can put that into either a Bombardment build, which is definitely can solo Greater Rift 150, or for that matter, okay, Shield Glare, we drop Falling Sword, and then we go Blessed Hammer there and take those mobs out. But, yeah, definitely Valor Crusader, it would be a better investment in it. Bombardment Crusader is also one of those ones where it's a good investment. You just better ways to use your resources on better armors as opposed to spending all that time augmenting to then find out that you get something of this particular nature where it'll do well. I say this armor kind of caps out around Greater Rift 125. It might be able to push Greater Rift 130. If you're in a group of 4 and you do this like fully optimized armors, everybody knows what they're doing. With the support of your group and friends, you should be able to clear Greater Rift 150 with this, but you're probably going to be slowing your partners down a wee significant bit. Alright, let's see what the clear time on that was. Okay, that was Greater Rift 65, clear time 4 minutes 15 seconds. This armor's got like 2 or 3 optimizations in terms of augmentations of the pieces. So, with that being said, if we had that down to probably 2 minutes with full optimization, maybe in a minute. Alright, same strategy as before. This is a Greater Rift 70. We're going to drop the Falling Swords when possible. Then we'll use the Blessed Hammers that are powered up thanks to the stacks for a small amount of time. Then we'll go back into Falling Sword again. We'll use the Blessed Hammers to take down the little mob. Now, there's a high chance that people will want to just constantly click in the Blessed Hammer. You don't want to do that. You kind of want to pace yourselves, because if you click it too much, you waste resources quite a bit. And you don't necessarily need to, because these things gravitate towards you for quite a while you're using this armor. So I definitely do not recommend doing things of that nature. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna go through here. Not the best layout either for this particular armor. Keep that in mind. Alright, so we're gonna go Blessed Hammers, Blessed Hammers, Blessed Hammers. Alright, so far so good. Let's open the gate there. Let's go Falling Sword. I was hoping it was gonna connect with our targets. It did. We'll go Shield Glare to make up for that. Blessed Hammers, we take out the targets there. Here we go, Blessed Hammers again. It's a very simple rotation. Really what you want to do is go Blessed Hammers, Falling Sword, Provoke, and then you just basically repeat those damage cycles. Most things will take out. When you see elite packs, that's where you could go Shield Glare in that rotation, where it would be like Blessed Hammer, Falling Sword, Shield Glare, Blessed Hammers. Usually, if you have to use it that way, or you could go Shield Glare, Blessed Hammers, Falling Sword. But in my opinion, it's better to go Blessed Hammers, Falling Sword, Shield Glare, and then continue the Blessed Hammer attack, and it works significantly better. Also, remember Provoke. You provoke basically when you feel like you're running low on resources. Okay, let's go here. We need to Falling Sword. We'll Shield Glare first, as you saw there. That way we can take out all those targets. Like I said, it's not a bad armor. It's actually pretty decent. It's pretty mid-tier. And on the lower levels, it can get you actually through things and speed through things and get you, like, good speed farming on the lower levels, at least. So it's not a bad armor to start out with in terms of Season 24, in the sense that on the lower levels, this is going to do very well, even not fully optimized, as long as you have the Faithful Memory, as well as you have the stuff in the Kunai's Cube. This is one of those few things that it will do well for you on the low girder, and then it's kind of as you go in higher up, particularly, like, I'd say probably around Chapter 10, you're going to start to see that you need to run something better. So I would say run this up until you could get, like, Valor Satyr, where you have, like, the full setup ready to go Bombardment, or the Armor of a Khan Bombardment build, and definitely try that. I have not covered Satyr or Bombardment yet. I will be doing so in the not too distant future. What I wanted to do first is I wanted to cover all the starter sets for Season 24, for the beginning of Season 24, and then we would just cover our armors, particularly, like, there's going to be 1 week where I will do the Valor set, I will do the Ina set, and I will also do the Masquerader, the Burning Carnival all in 1 week, but that's like 2 weeks away, roughly, or a week away. Let me do my math here. 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away, and then we'll cover those particular things. Then we'll pretty much go and look at our requested armors that people have been requesting from previous seasons and everything, because I like to do the viewer requests, and we'll do that there. Alright, so here we go. Blessed Hammers again. It's a very simple armor. It doesn't take a lot of work to use this one, as long as you learn the rotation of Blessed Hammer, Falling Sword, Shield Glare, Blessed Hammer, Provoke. Just keep constantly repeating those windows, you should be fine. Drop a Blessed Falling Sword, Blessed Hammers. Remember, every time you do that Falling Sword, thanks to Faithful Memory, you're powering yourself up. Alright, see, so we were still powered up from Faithful Memory, that we didn't have to drop the Falling Sword there anyway. We had the cooldown anyway. Alright, Falling Sword. Keep in mind, because of my belt, I'm also casting Judgments when I drop the Falling Sword, so that's kind of a nice little extra added benefit. Okay, Riff Guardian found us. This is going to be kind of simple. Just Falling Sword, Shield Glare, Blessed Hammers, and you see that it basically takes out the Riff Guardian, which I don't use where we don't struggle there. So that's a good thing about this particular armor set. I still can do significantly well. I just say there's better things you could probably invest with. Okay, I'm going to level up this Bane of Powerful. This is not for the build. Like I said, Bane of Stricken, Bane of Trap, go after Swiftness are the gems you want to use. Everything else is just throwaways for augmentation pieces of your arm. Now, keep in mind, in order to augment, in case you're new to Diablo 3, you will have to have ancient legendary versions of the armor pieces. You can't augment without ancient legendary or primal ancient. Alright, Grey Rift 70, 3 minutes and 50-second clear time, which is very respectable for an armor that's only got like 2 augmentations on it, guys. So keep that in mind. Alright, here we go again. This is Greater Rift 75. For those of you who are playing Season, and you're probably wondering, well, where should I start first with this guide? Obviously, complete your 2 and 3 and 4 seasonal journeys. Every time you complete, starting on Chapter 2, you will get a cachet of Haedrig's Gift. Chapter 3, you get another cachet of Haedrig's Gift. And Chapter 4, you get another cachet. Basically, the cachets are 2 pieces of the armor. So on Chapter 2, you get 2 pieces. On Chapter 3 completion, you get 2 pieces. On Chapter 4, you get another 2 pieces. You are guaranteed always the full set of your starter set, this being the Seeker of Light for the Crusader. So if you pick Crusader, this is the armor that you will get from your Haedrig's Gift upon completing the seasonal journey 2 through 4. One thing that's very important to mention is that you're guaranteed a full set of the armor. However, you're not guaranteed that the armor pieces will be Ancient Legendary. The armor pieces will not drop as Primal Ancient Legendary, because in order to get Primal Ancient Legendaries to drop on a seasonal character, you have to complete a Greater Rift 70 solo in the season, which you're not going to be able to do before your Chapters 4 seasonal journey is complete anyway. So keep that in mind. So there's really no reason that you would do that. So definitely don't try to re-roll for them, because you're never going to get it. It's never, mathematically, it's impossible to do it. And you're not going to do a Greater Rift naked run and actually be able to pull that off. So don't even think. So yeah, you're not guaranteed Primal Ancient Legendary. You're just guaranteed 6 pieces of the armor, not even Ancient. So what you want to do to like improve the set while you're playing through Season 24 Diablo is like, I recommend always doing like 2 I recommend doing like a 2-hour Greater Riff run where you pick a Greater Riff level that you could do and you can speed it in like 2 to 3 minutes. And you do 2 hours of that non-stop. The reason for that is you not only will augment the gems that you need to run on this particular armor, but you'll also be able to get level up gems that you'll use for augmentations to increase the armor. On top of that, you will probably run into a lot of the weapons very, very easily that way. I recommend doing that because you'll run into the Faithful Memory, you'll run into the stuff that you need for Kanai's Cube with general ease. If you're having a hard time with Faithful Memory, because I actually did have a hard time with it, what you can do, this is going to use a lot of resources, but it will work out in your benefit, is you can buy the two-handed swords from the merchant that are rare, and then in Kanai's Cube, what you would want to do is you would want to use the upgrade rare option, which uses a lot of death breaths. Every time you upgrade a rare sword, there would be a decent chance that you will get a Faithful Memory. But it has to be the two-handed swords, guys. It can't be the one-handed sword, because this is a two-handed sword weapon. The reason we're able to use it is based on one of the passes that we are using in our Kanai's Cube. So in case you're wondering how I'm able to do that, that is how it's done. Alright, so we're coming close to the end of Grey Rift. Let's drop a Falling Sword. We'll do the Shield Glare because we were able to stun the enemy, and then also remember we have Bane of the Trap plus Bane of Stricken and everything. So all these things are working in tandem right now. That's what you're seeing on screen. That's why we're able to do as well here. Falling Sword, Blessed Hammers. I could Shield Glare here if I wanted to. I'm not going to waste it though. Alright. Keep it going. We're going to go Blessed Hammers. Falling Sword pretty soon. We heal though first. Alright. Shield Glare because I didn't have Falling Sword already. Okay, Blessed Hammers. Blessed Hammers are going to take out all those targets because it's being increased thanks to Faithful Memories weapon. Alright, we're almost ready for Falling Sword. Falling Sword. Blessed Hammers. Again, keep these rotations going. Don't waste the Shield Glares too much. Only when you feel like you're going to get overrun on the high glare. This is Tournament 16 difficulty. Remember that the enemies have more HP, so it takes a little longer to kill. On top of that, they can do more damage to you. So you got to be very, very careful. Also, keep an eye on your Akrat's Champion. Always keep it active when possible. Very, very, very important. You don't want to not be using your Akrat's Champion. Alright, we're almost at the end of the Riff Guardian here, which is pretty impressive. Alright, here we go again. Drop my Falling Sword. Gotta be careful of those lasers. I'll use Shield Glare here. I might die here because, yeah, I'm cornered. Alright, sometimes you'll get cornered like that. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. Put in the work. Shield Glare. Blessed Hammer. Falling Sword. Here we go. Falling Sword. All these things will pop pretty quickly. Here's the Riff Guardian. We're pretty good here. We gotta get Shield Glare off. Try Shield Glare. Oh, no. Ah, he missed the Shield Glare. Okay, he's gonna probably kill us at one point. Yeah, he's probably gonna take us out. We gotta be careful here. No Akrat. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to click Akrat. Don't worry if you take like a death or two. Perfectly fine. You're not trying to get super perfect run going here. You just want to get through the Riff Guardian at the moment. Alright, there we go. Shield Glare, Falling Sword, Blessed Hammer. Use your tank. If we hit Origin with the first Shield Glare before he teleported away, we probably would have been able to do that without taking unnecessary death. But that's part of the game. Like I said, as you go higher up in the Greater Rift, this armor is not as powerful as Irwin. That's why I say probably will cap out at like a Greater Rift 120, 125. It could probably do 145 if you full optimize it. 150 in a group of 4 is possible, but you might be slowing down the rest of the people that are playing in the group, so keep that in mind. There's just better options. Like I say, Valor Satyr or Bombardment, Armor of Khan is the way to go. If we didn't take the 2 deaths, we'd probably have a 2-minute clear time, ironically, but 4 minutes is still very, very, very respectable and very, very good for this armor. So that's your Season 24 starter build for the Crusader class. Seeker Light, not bad. Mid-tier Crusader armor, I would say. There's worse options that could have been. I mean, Roland last season was pretty bad for the Crusader. That's an armor that's doesn't really take you too far. So this was slightly a step up from that, which is pretty cool. It doesn't look like we got any good loot this time around, which is quite unfortunate to say the very least here. So very, very unfortunate here. Let's try to, yeah, okay. Still trying to see if we get anything of decent usage here. Doesn't look like that. Yeah, so like I said, my recommendation if you're playing Crusader and this is the way you're going in the beginning, use this till you get something like Valor or the Armor of Khan pieces, and you have like the full way to build that, and then I would swap out for those and continue that way. It's not a bad armor. It'll take you to where you need to get to be able to go S tier. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, a like is greatly appreciated on this video, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, that's appreciated as well, as it helps the channel grow, and I will see you for the next Diablo 3 video. Till next time.